Welcome to the Successful Mindset Podcast, where every week I will bring you a deep, rich, and clear understanding of where you are now and how to bridge the gap to where you want to be. My name is Amila Kaye, and the podcast starts now. If you haven't already, click subscribe so you never miss another episode. And today I will be talking to you about reviving your soul when you're working your 9-to-5 job. Now, sometimes, and for a lot of us, working a full-time job can make us feel like we're dead inside and we have absolutely no energy for anything else because we're completely worn down by doing something for 8 hours a day that we maybe have no passion, no interest, and no desire and no care for doing. And I believe, and I'm trusting that the type of audience that I will attract also believe that there is so much more to life than slaving away at a job you do not care for or that you dislike. Now, I guess at the end of every day, a lot of us work because it's not because we want to work or we really want to be there. A lot of the time, money is the motivating factor. And I mean, there's certain jobs that we would not do if we weren't going to get paid for it. And I think the key sometimes for a lot of us is while we are working on sort of like our side hustle or while we're doing things to progress us in the direction of our ultimate goal and our ultimate job and something that we would want to do whether we got paid or not. For me, that's the ultimate. Doing something every single day that even if you weren't getting paid for it, you would want to do it anyway. And so for a lot of us, it's like we want to get the money so that we can ultimately do things that are fun with that money. And so that's why we get so excited on Fridays, because now we're going to have 2 days to ourselves where we can invest and do anything that we want to do. And the key is to actually use the time when you're not at work to be investing into activities and things that will actually bring you closer to your ultimate end goal. And rather than binging on Netflix or throwing your money down the drain or wasting your energy and your time on things that are actually getting you nowhere near your ultimate goal or what you want to be doing. Now, I recently read a summary about a book called Creating Money by Sanaya Roman and Duane Packer. And they said, and I found this really interesting because they said in the book, you cannot leave something until you love it. You are tied to things you do not love or that you do not like. If you hate something, you will be drawn to it again and again until you love it. And once you love it, you are free from it. And that got me really thinking about, in life when we don't learn certain lessons, those lessons keep turning up in different people and different jobs and different scenarios and circumstances in our life until we finally learn the lesson that's built within that circumstance that we had to learn, and then we stop attracting these similar situations. This was one of them for me, similar to that, where if we're doing something in our current jobs that we really hate, then what are some of the things, so the way to turn this around is, what are some of the things that we can start appreciating about the jobs that we already have? Because I believe that gratitude goes a really long way into helping us find appreciation and gratitude for what we already have. Now, if you didn't have the job that you already have, which aspects of it would you miss? Would it be the people? Would it be the conversations that you have with certain people? Would it maybe even be the environment that you're in, or the things that you get to see on your way to work? Could it be, a mentor that you found and developed a great relationship with? It can even just be money, or something that you've learned, or a skill that you've been able to develop through this experience. So the key is, find what within your current role you are already grateful for. What about it do you already appreciate? And when we have this attitude and we have this thinking in our mind, what happens is we end up enjoying our job. And it might even start with one small aspect, and then it spreads to other things, and you start seeing other things that you enjoy about it. And when you have this energy and you turn up to work like this every day, other people will notice this about you, and you will receive a better opportunity, and you might even get a promotion out of it. Really, the possibilities are endless for what can happen. I don't know what kind of job you have right now or what you're doing. Although what I do know is that being appreciative for what we already have will only attract towards us more things that we can be appreciative of. And it has to start with us. It has to start with you. And what are you focusing on right now? Are you focusing on all the things that you don't like about your job, and all the things that are wrong with it, and all the people that you dislike, and all the things that are not working out in your favor? Or are you even focusing on just one or two things, at least one thing that you are absolutely grateful for the job that you currently have? So start finding things that you like and just see what happens. Wayne Dwyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I couldn't agree with this anymore. So how are you currently viewing your work? How are you currently viewing your work at the moment? The opportunity you currently have. How can you look at it differently? And the moment you can choose to see it from a different perspective, it will be different to you. And I think that's such an important thing to take away from this quote. I'm always saying to myself when I listen back to my videos, don't say and I really don't like hearing myself say it. And I've just heard myself say it. Feedback to me. So I think moving on, look at more than work, because work is one part of your It's one part of your life. It's one part of your existence. It's one part of your routine. What can you do outside of work to shake things up, to make them more exciting, to give you some more adventure, or to give you some more joy or fulfillment? That might be doing something really different on a Monday that maybe you would normally do on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday. Or, cooking for someone, or inviting you, having like a family dinner on a Monday instead of a Sunday. Could it be that you go to the gym with a friend on a Tuesday, or that you meditate on Wednesdays, or that, you read a book instead of binging on Netflix. Or if you always read books, then binge on Netflix for a bit. The idea here is to do something different throughout your week. And you may have to push yourself, depending on what it is that you want to change. Push yourself out of your current comfort zone and see how it changes what you feel. Just commit to 1 week, change things up. It could be the week that you're listening to this. It could be the following week after that. But consciously set out a plan to do something different every single day. This is outside of work. And see how this can impact your perspective while you're at work. Now, another thing that I learned from this book called Creating Money is there was a quote where they said, if you want to improve your job, do not ask what your employer can do for you. Ask instead, what can I contribute to my job? And I find this really interesting because so many of us just go in, clock in, do our job, and we go home. What else can we contribute? How else can you add value? What can you do more than the base minimum that you're required to do? And this can be as simple as, talking to someone in the business that you've maybe never had a conversation with. Listening to people. Stop talking so much and just listen to what other people have to say. Listen to their perspective. I know very recently I have made it an effort of mine to listen more. Listening is not something that comes easily to me because I love talking so much. However, a really big goal of mine is to just shut up and really listen to what another person is saying, and not listen to them because I want to listen so that I can respond appropriately or that I have a good response back. Just to really listen, as simple as that. Listen with my ears, listen with my mind, and listen with my heart, and listen with my eyes. What can I see? What is this person showing me in their body language? What are they saying with their words? How are they saying it? And feel empathy for them. Put myself in their place. What emotions are they feeling? How are they seeing things from their perspective? This is truly listening to another person. For me, I believe that this is the greatest gift that you can give someone, and it costs you absolutely nothing. So many of us are yearning to just be heard, to really be heard and acknowledged. And I think this is a really beautiful thing to do. So one thing that you can do to contribute and add value to your job is listening to other people. Maybe you want to buy someone coffee, or go and have coffee with them, or pay someone a meaningful compliment on their work, on a presentation that they did, something that you knew where they had to step out of their courage. I know for me, when I see people, I have wonderful relationships with people that I work with, and when I see people really step out of their comfort zones, and I know that was a really big deal for them to do something, I make it a huge pointed effort of mine to approach that person and let them know how great I think they were, or what a great effort they did, or I know that took a lot of courage for them. And I love doing this for people because this is how I connect with other human beings, and this is how I am meeting my need for connection with other human beings. So if you haven't heard the podcast on the 6 needs of all humans, connection is one of them. And so how are you connecting with other people? How are you feeding your need for connection? And through connecting with other people, I'm also feeding their need for significance, because we all want to be acknowledged in some way. We all want to be recognized in some way for something that we've done. So it really is a win-win for me and that person. It's a great way to build relationships and make you feel like you are a part of your team, that you are a part of your environment, that you are a part of that business and its people. Connecting with people feels really nice for both of you, and I think that we don't do it enough, and we should do it enough. I would like to add here that it should always be genuine, and you shouldn't just say things that you don't mean, because it will always come across in your body language and in the non-verbal communication. So say things that you mean, and don't say things that you don't mean. If you are not feeling nurtured at your job, it might be because you're not nurturing yourself. And what I mean by this is, what type of things are you doing outside of work that bring you joy, that you can then bring into work? Self-care is so important. It's the little things that we do for ourselves every single day where we fill up our own love tank. We fill up our own bucket of fulfilling our own needs and things that are important for us. So many of us leave our homes and walk around with empty buckets, expecting our partners to fill them, expecting our children to fill them, our friends to fill them, the barista at the coffee shop to fill it. And then we come to work and we expect, our bosses and our friends and our co-workers to fill our bucket, when in fact it should be the other way around. Fill your own bucket, because nobody knows what you need like you know what you need. So if you know what are the things that you need to feel content, happy, full of energy, clear-minded, and energized, and you know what that is, then it is your responsibility to give yourself those things. It is your responsibility to fill those needs for yourself. Because only then can you go out into the world and contribute and add value and be pleasant and attractive to other human beings. You must fill your own bucket. Because if you don't, you can't help other people. And it's highly unattractive walking around with an empty bucket, begging other people to fill it for us. It's not sustainable in the long term. You may find ways of getting it in the short term, but it is not sustainable for you or other people in the long term. And before you quit your job, I encourage you to look at what you do not like about it and ask yourself, is what you are experiencing a possible reflection of how you treat yourself? Now that's really, really deep. And what I mean by that is, I'll give you an example. Recently, and at other times as well, there have been times where, maybe I felt a lack of, connection with my workplace, or a lack of connection with the work that I was doing. Or maybe I felt like, I wasn't really adding value or contributing in that space, or that I wasn't, being seen or included, and all of these types of things. And we've all felt like this at some time or another. And you lose interest in your work and where you are, and it becomes to feel like a massive chore to be there. Now, with what I just said, before you quit your job, look at what you don't like about it and ask yourself if what you are experiencing could possibly be a reflection of how you are treating yourself. So what are you feeling? Where is that lack that you're feeling at work? And how is that maybe reflecting with your relationship with yourself outside of work? So how are you contributing to your own life, your own dreams? What are you doing to pursue the things that are important for you? How often do you do things that bring you joy? How are you progressing towards your own goals in your life? And if you aren't doing that outside of work, chances are you're going to feel like that at work. And it's going to show when you're in your work environment. At the end of the day, I think it's really, really important to treat yourself with love and kindness and patience and compassion. Get adequate rest. Eat foods that are good for you most of the time. Engage in some kind of exercise every single day. It could be a walk. It could be a workout that really gets your sweat and your heart rate pumping. It could be yoga. It could be swimming. Find something that you enjoy doing that gets the best out of your body, and do it every single day. If you don't exercise at all, then start with something small. It could be 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the afternoon. Anyone can do 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the afternoon. Find something that you enjoy doing and commit to doing it. Start meditating every day. That could be as simple as spending 5 minutes in the morning listening to a song that really relaxes you as you set a vision for how you want your day to go, and set one goal for yourself that day. And that goal could be, I want to be really happy today, or I want to be really kind today, or I want to be an exceptional listener today, or I want to be a great leader today. 5 minutes a day where you are mindful of your vision and you relax within your body and you set a goal for yourself, that's meditating. Anyone can do that. 5 minutes. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Laughing is the best medicine. Find something that you can laugh about as often as you can. And remember, what you put out is what you get back. And so if you liked today's message, please leave me a review, comment, and subscribe, if only I could talk, as that helps this podcast reach more people who may find this interesting. My vision is to help as many people possible to understand themselves and others better, and to have the tools to create the life they desire. And as always, I will leave you by thanking you for all of your support. I appreciate all of you, and bye for now.